front row in GT2 at the SCCA Runoffs comprised 16 national titles, 11 for pole sitter Dwayne Davis, 5 for outside pole sitter Dave Finch. The start would determine the outcome in this race. Davis grabbed the lead at the drop of the green, Finch tucked in behind, and that was it. Davis went all 20 laps unchallenged, a Sunday drive. The best battle, though, was for third. Bill Reed and Jim Goffrey battling, Reed holding off Goffrey for the final podium spot. When the checkers flew, Dwayne Davis earned his 7th GT2 title, his 12th overall. Can he continue his dominance this year? Find out next. GT2 at the Runoffs, next on Speed. When you think of GT2 here at the Runoffs, there's one name that stands head and shoulders above all the others, the name of Dwayne Davis. 7 times the winner in this category, including last year, 12 gold medals overall. He'll be a key contender today in his Toyota. Helping him with a Toyota, Southeast Division star Bill Reed. 2 national wins this year. He's been the runner-up at the Runoffs, hoping to get to the top step of the podium this weekend. Jim Goffrey now lives in Texas. He's been the champion here once before. He races in the Northeast Division. Will this be the weekend for a Nissan to claim top honors? We'll find out. There aren't very many Porsches here at the Runoffs. One of them, though, that's in the hands of a driver who's been a champion, standing by with our Johnny O'Connell.
You're right, Rick. There aren't a whole lot of Porsches that are competing today, but one very special Porsche is owned by David Finch, and it's special because 5 times he's won the National Championship Runoffs. He's done that because he's intimate with his car. He knows what makes it go fast, and he knows what makes it go fast around Mid-Ohio, and that's key, and you know he's going to be running towards the front here in the race today. But Tom Patton, well, you know what? He's been running this car since 1979. He knows it inside and out. He also has won a national championship, and you know that he's going to be pushing today to add one more to that list.
And welcome to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We're in Lexington, Ohio. Coverage of the SCCA's National Championships. It's the Valvoline Runoffs here on Speed. Time to go racing in GT2. Some great competitors. You've met a few of them. 19 cars are set to take the green flag. And Johnny, these are pretty fast race cars.
These are very fast cars. Again, they're purpose-built race cars. They're 2-frame. You know, they got serious brakes on them. You know, you have a little bit of equalization in them in that, you know, those cars with more horsepower get a little bit more weight. And, you know, here at Mid-Ohio, they always put on a good show. And speaking of Mid-Ohio, it is one of the most difficult and technical tracks in the country and a great place to hold the runoffs. My key areas are always going into turn 2 because we will see a lot of passing there. Then the long back downhill straightaway into turn 4. Great placing to pass. Now 4 through 13 really is for the most part if a guy's equal to a single file. But man, somehow or another these cats always get creative and find a way to get by their competitors.
Creativity does pay off here, as we've discovered at times, as we get ready to go racing 19 cars for the GT2 National Championship. Finch and Davis know each other well. They'll make up the front row again this year. Bill Reed out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and there's Jim Goffrey starting 4th. Bud Matakenis lines up 11th. Charles Missoura 12th. Veteran Ron Tamborine is 13th. Steve Limbert, Dick Salem in 15th and 16th, and Michael Murin rounds out our field here. Let's get an update from pit road before we go green. Calvin Fish.
Well, Rick, Johnny said that David Finch is in tune with his car, but on Tuesday qualifying, he certainly was not when he found himself in the gravel trap and into the tires. There was damage to this right rear corner, but as most racers do, they have pop rivets on hand, they have racers tape, they have some wire. This Porsche is back together again and ready to go. He's going to try and go for that 6th national championship today, and what a chore on the front row we have here. We have 12 national championships in class, 17 between them overall. These guys are going to go at it this afternoon, Rick.
It'll be a great battle between Finch and Davis, who wheels a Toyota Celica. Bill Reed, who's got some titles to his credit too, will line up right behind in the 2nd row. Great field of 19 race cars. It'll be a quick battle. We'll be back to put them under green. Our Speed Channel coverage of the 40th anniversary SCCA National Championship Runoffs being brought to you today by Valvoline. Valvoline, the #1 choice of top mechanics. As
the field moves off pit road, a couple of pace laps before we go green. Johnny O'Connell, Calvin Fish. We're seeing cloud cover really move back in here in Mid-Ohio. Johnny, what do you think?
Well, you know, and what's really interesting is that this morning's practice session was wet, rainy. No one went out on the racetrack because they assumed that this race this afternoon was going to be dry. Boy, if it starts to rain, a lot of guys are going to regretting that they didn't go out this morning.
Calvin, what do you think from pit road? What are the guys saying down there?
Well, they're not saying much. They're certainly looking up at the skies to see if this thing is going to change. It's certainly cooled down a lot. That will certainly have an effect on tire temperatures and pressures and things like that. But we do get some precipitation here, and this thing gets slick. This racetrack is one of the worst in the country in terms of how slick it is on line. And if any of these boys don't know the wet line around here, particularly on slick tires, they're going to be struggling to keep it on the black stuff.
You two driving school instructors, a little late to bring them in and show them what that line would be. They're going to be on their own. These, of course, are thoroughbred, purpose-built race cars, Johnny.
Yeah, GT cars are purpose-built, highly modified silhouette replicas of series-produced sports sedans. You know, they're all two-frame, and the thing is, these are serious race cars. Yes, you know, you look at a car and it looks like a Celica car or Porsche or whatever. You know what? It's just from the outside. You get inside this thing, and it's highly sophisticated, serious.
We have some onboard views for you of this beautiful 2¼ mile layout in Mid-Ohio. We'll ride along with Dwayne Davis in car number 1. He starts on the outside pole. Now, a year ago, Davis was the pole sitter and won. David Finch finished second, started second. Today, the qualifying has been flip-flopped. Now, Davis starting alongside. What's the situation? What's he going to try to accomplish going down as they take the green and go toward turn 4?
Well, you know, if he can, he wants that lead going, because last year he got the lead through turn 4, went on wire to wire. Now, both these guys, though, talking to them before this race, they are so focused, and these guys are gunfighters. I mean, they get along, but it's not like they're going out and having beers after the day is over. They are so focused on winning these championships, and you can see it in their eyes. And so right now you've got, you know, it's like two boxers. They're coming out of the dressing rooms, and they're getting ready to step in the ring.
Davis on board with Davis, and we saw a moment ago that we were seeing a little bit of what we call breakup. The video signal from the race car, the helicopter that picks up that signal, the microwave transmitter that's on board the race car, and then beams it down to our production truck. Has to fly pretty low here because of the ceiling that's developed. All the cloud cover, very dark clouds they are. Calvin, about a half lap till green. What do you have for us from pit road?
Well, I spoke to Dwayne Davis this morning. He's gone for a three-peat here and won this event the last 2 years, and he said, I'm going for a dozen. I said, you have a dozen. He said, yeah, but I want that baker's dozen.
There you go. One more gold medal. Always a good thing to round out the collection.
Now, as they grid up here, what's always fun to watch is, are there any head games going on? You know, does Davis take off a little bit and try to psych out Finch? Does Finch slow him down real bad? I mean, it's the head games that really make all these starts so interesting.
Finch in the 66. That's the Porsche 944. He gets to set the pace out of the keyhole as they head toward the green flag. You're riding with two-time defending champ, 12-time overall champion, Dwayne Davis, out of Carnes, Washington. 20 laps to go to settle a national championship in GT2. Glad to have you with us on Speed, and we are underway.
You know, an interesting thing that I saw there, right there, Finch was waiting for the green flag. I mean, I'm coming out. I'm going for that lead. And right now, you see Dwayne Davis.
Yeah.
Getting the lead at the start.
And Goffrey.
Finch.
Goffrey, they're 3 wide out of 4. Goffrey gets hit by the Porsche. Another car locks him up and spins. David Finch, the pole sitter, clipped Goffrey, who was coming up from 4th spot in that brand new Nissan 350.
You know, and Goffrey looked to me like he had the room there, and that Finch really needed to open up that line a little bit more, as we see Patton doing a 3-point turn here to get back into it. And that's exactly what Dwayne Davis wanted to see. You make a killer start, you open up that lane, you know, guys battle behind you, and then, my goodness, once again, he's already, you know, we're 7 turns into this, he's already got 3 or 4 seconds.
The car that spawned the 50 of Tom Patton, we heard from him, talked to him briefly, I should say back in our opening comments here today, riding with Dwayne Davis, who's the leader. Out of the carousel and up the pit road straightaway, and the 66 car pole sitter David Finch off in the grass after that incident.
You know what, when Goffrey came up the inside and there was that contact, that was hard contact, and you kind of figured there might be some damage after that. But you know what, where he's really going to be kicking himself all winter long is when that green flag came out. You know what? You come out of that last corner, you're going for the start regardless. Right there, you see Goffrey on the inside. There's contact, and you know, anytime you lift up a 2,000-pound car, that's pretty serious.
Well, what he did is he flattened the left front tire on Finch's Porsche. That's why he spun into the grass. From the contact, the way it looked, I thought both cars would be able to continue. Goffrey is still going. Here's another look.
Watch.
You can see Goffrey up in the air there.
Yeah.
And there he is into the tire barrier with the cut down tire.
You know, and it takes very little. You know, again, these guys spend hours tuning these cars, getting the alignment just right, the cambers, the casters, the whole 9 yards. And just a little bit of contact can ruin your race. Big contact, well, it can end your race.
So Dwayne Davis is out in front working on lap number 2. Watch him bang that shifter down to gear. And again, that little bit of video signal breakup from the race car. Our helicopter flying pretty low here today because clouds have moved in just in the last 20 minutes or so at Mid-Ohio.
You know, and look at William Reed there running in second. I mean, actually, he's doing a good job holding on and keeping this close. So this might not be a runaway. Again, you never know what's going to happen with these things, but when you've got a guy that strong, you know, like Dwayne Davis, anything can happen. You know, bad luck for Finch, though, and Calvin, you're with his crew chief.
Yeah, I'm down here with Ken Castle, and David didn't have the opening lap he was looking for. What did he say on the radio?
All he told me was it was all over.
This has to be so disappointing. You guys put in so much effort to get the car back on the pole after the off on Tuesday, to recover like that and then see it go away so early.
We're very hopeful. I mean, we qualified first in both the second and third qualifying sessions, and we're really looking forward to a good competitive race.
There you hear the disappointment is in his voice, and not the sort of day he was looking for. He really wanted to go after that 6th championship, Rick.
Tough break indeed. The Porsche still just stuck in the grass down there with that cut left front tire and some damage, some suspension damage to that corner.
And you had no idea how frustrating it is because they were hooked up. They were the car to beat. But, you know, and again, as we saw the start of that race, I got to tell you, I never wait for the green flag, you know, especially if I've got the pole. I'm trying to jump that
Well, you set the pace.
Yeah, exactly. And so you could see that he was letting the flagger control him rather than trying to get that jump. And as the winter months go on, you know, he's probably going to regret that. Then also going through 4, that he didn't just slide all the way over to the left and defend his inside.
He gave room to Goffrey to try to get up the inside of it.
These guys, you know, for a national championship, guys go psychotic. They're willing to do anything for that. So you got to expect those guys to throw it in there. You know, that's what Goffrey did. I saw an opening 2. I'd have thrown my car in there. Just expected the Finch to open up. He didn't. Boom.
Well, it may be your best chance to pass in a situation like that right at the start.
Well, exactly. You know, any position you can gain early on is so important, especially if a guy's out qualified you or been as quick as Finch has. You know, you want to get those positions. And right now you see that, you know, Finch is out of it. The other guys are still pushing hard.
Now that white car, the other Celica, that's Bill Reed from Knoxville, Tennessee. He's got a couple of championships here at the runoffs. 3rd spot to Gerald Mason in that Nissan 300 ZX. They are nose to tail.
And Mason's looking pretty good here. You know, his last lap time was a 31.3 versus a 32.2 for Reed. So right now Mason is looking very strong.
Reed in the 87 running in 2nd spot, twice the champion here. The 04 of Mason in 3rd. 4th to Jim Goffrey. He's a couple of seconds further back. Gerson Rosenberg in 5th in the 71.
Yeah, but you know, as we look at timing and scoring, we see Goffrey, his quick time's a 30.5. That's almost a second faster than Dwayne Davis.
He may be able to get up and challenge, but Dwayne Davis with a 2-second lead, working lap 4. We'll be back at Mid-Ohio.
You know, winning 1 national championships at the runoffs is an extremely difficult thing. You've got the best drivers from all over the country. Right now, I'm standing with a legend in the SCCA, Dwayne Davis, a guy that's won 12 times, 7 in this category alone. Last year's winner. He's back again looking for the baker's dozen. And Dwayne, you're racing against the same guys you did last year. How are you feeling going into this year's race?
I'm feeling real good about it. I've been here before. That is, I've been in this position before, racing with these guys. I've managed to win more than they have. So I think my chances are really good. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great race.
You know, you win the championship, you get to carry the magical number 1. And this is a guy that's done it 12 times. This year, it might make 13.
He He's on his way here in the early going. Let's ride with Dwayne Davis. 4 laps on the board. He's got a big lead. Bill Reed 1.3 seconds back. Reed chopping the lead down last lap, though.
I love listening to this in-car camera here. Now, as they go through this section right here, listen for the wheel spin right now as he's coming over the hill. Oh, I think you love that. Down the next corner.
What's he there, Johnny? Third?
Probably third or fourth gear. Now, you know, again, you're trying different gears and you're setting your car up for different things. So, you know, it'd be a total guess. I'd say probably third or fourth gear there. You know, Mid-Ohio's a medium-speed corners, you know, type circuit. But listen to him work the throttle.
You can see how dark the sky is getting at the end of the main straightaway here. Pit road straightaway at Mid-Ohio. 5 laps complete. And Bill Reed is just about 7 car lengths now behind Dwayne Davis. The battle's on for the lead.
Reed's pushing him hard, and one of the things, you know, when you're driving, all the little things make a difference. And did you pay attention to how fast Dwayne Davis...
Trouble for Gerald Mason in the 04. He was running in 4th spot. He had just been passed by Jim Goffrey. Mason is off in that Nissan 300. Downstairs to Calvin Fish.
Well, we're down here with his father with the same name, Jerry Mason, and Gerald. What was the problem?
He said it sounded like a drive shaft.
This has to be so disappointing. I mean, he's won a national championship before, but some 17 years ago in showroom stock A, and looking good for a medal today.
Well, we'd hope so, that's for sure. We thought we might. And but it looks like we got a mechanical problem, which happens to everybody sooner or later.
Well, he's still got a smile on his face. It comes from years of experience. He actually raced between the years of 56 and 76, and he's still down here in pit lane helping out his son, guys.
That is great. It is a family affair here when you come to these SCCA runoffs. Very tough break, though, for Mason, who was very quick.
And he was looking really good, but I tell you what, that was a huge relief to William Reed, who's running second. And now, rather than having to watch his mirrors, he can focus all his attention to Dwayne Davis up there in the lead, and he's doing a great job. He's upping that pressure. One thing I was talking about, you know, at this level of the game, every little thing makes a difference. And when we were on board with Dwayne Davis, did you notice how fast he was shifting?
Yeah.
You know, being quick with a shifter, that can be half a second, 3/4 of a second per lap. Right now, Dwayne Davis is giving it everything he's got.
Can't see the footwork there, but I do see the foot on the clutch. I was going to ask you if they had clutchless shifters in these cars, but evidently he does have to clutch it to get that gear. 0.6 of a second the gap. 6 laps complete, just beginning lap 7. That's Reed in the white Celica chasing Davis for the race lead.
Now, the huge advantage that Davis has is that he's done this 12 times previously. You know, you talk about an Iceman. He is going to be an Iceman. He knows what it takes to get it done. But you know what? With William Reed right behind him, he's hungry for more championships himself. Calvin, maybe you got something to add to that.
Well, Bill Reed and his team have been here testing, Johnny, throughout the summer months, and they've had 2 or 3 good test days here, and the main thing they were working on was not speed, but consistency. They wanted a car that would be consistent over the 20-lap race, so maybe that'll play into their hands here today. A lot of smoke on the front straightaway. I think one of the cars just blown up. But the other thing is that Bill is a collector of fine wines, and it doesn't come any finer than a nice bottle of champagne at the end of the day, so let's see what happens.
Maybe we can get some advice from him. He's closing in on the leader. It blowed up, Calvin Fish. We're going to make a Southerner out of you yet there, son. That was quite a comment. Dick Salem's Porsche headed for the grass.
Just trying to fit in with Johnny L there, boy.
Hey, you know what I got?
You two Georgians.
That wine thing, you know, even Gallo.
Trouble here.
What's that?
He's spun on the racetrack, or is he off in
No,
the chicane?
He turned it off, but as a guy that used to work for the Gallo Wine Company, even Andre Champagne would taste good in the runoffs if he won the runoffs. Scraping the bottom of the barrel there. Sorry, all my friends at Gallo. You know what else? We were watching turn 1 there. There is oil offline there.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll take a quick time out and come right back. The battle for the lead intense in GT2. Back on speed with coverage of the SCCA's national championships, the Valvoline Runoffs. With Johnny O'Connell and Calvin Fish on pit road, I'm Rick Benjamin. Great to have you with us. GT2, 19 cars took the green a few moments ago. We're working lap number 8. Dwayne Davis has led all the way so far. Got the drop on the pole sitter when the green flag waved. David Finch off the course on lap 1. And you're riding with Dwayne Davis, who's led since the drop of the green, but he's got his mirrors full of a nearly identical Celica wheeled by Bill Reed out of Knoxville, Tennessee. When we take a look back behind the race leader, we will see that he is under heavy pressure.
Yeah, but watch him. His lines are so tight. He's not the type of guy, Dwayne, to make that big mistake by charging into a corner too quickly. Right now, Reed's going to have to do something a lot better to get by Dwayne Davis.
Down the front straightaway, 45 hundredths is the gap between the 1 car and the 87. Now, we've talked about Davis with those 12 championships and the last 2. But you know who the champion was in 2000? It was Bill Reed in that number 87. Back downstairs to Cal.
Down here with Ken Fairley, who's looking after Dwayne Davis this weekend. Coming into this race was Finch in main opposition. He's out of the way now. Does that pave the way for another medal?
That helps. Dave is always a strong one, but we still got Bill right there behind us. It's not over yet.
Now you're in the same Toyota camp. Your actually garage side by side here at Mid-Ohio. Do you have any secrets on him? Do you know where his pace is, where he's strong?
Nope, both the cars are basically the same, and they've been racing here together for several years now, so they know each other.
Okay, well, Toyota power up front. Let's see if one of them can bring it home.
Well, I'll tell you, they're going to have some help in that battle for the lead shortly, because Jim Goffrey in that brand new Nissan 350ZX, he's the guy who had the contact with the pole sitter Finch early. He's right there as well, the car with the yellow nose.
And he is flying, and not only that, Davis is not only watching Reed behind him, knowing Goffrey's coming up, but he's got traffic in front of him. And if you're the first guy coming up to the traffic, you're panicked, because a lot of times these guys don't see the blue flag get out of the way, and man, you can go from first to third in a blink of an eye.
I think one of the interesting things about GT2, Johnny, is you've got open top cars. We usually think of a GT car as a closed race car, but here's the 50 car, and he's up into 4th spot after troubles earlier. And Barry Schomburg in the 21 right behind Patton, another open top race car. There's Goffrey in that new Nissan 350ZX. There's the damage on the passenger side of that car after that shunt with the pole sitter Finch.
And there's a lot of damage right there, and he might just be figuring, hey, what the heck, you know, I'm going to run this thing for everything I got. And right now, he is just chewing these guys up, running them down. He's closed up a lot of ground from where he was, and right now, you know, with 11 laps to go, I would say Goffrey is very much in this race as a contender. Dwayne Davis, he's going to have to rely on all his skills from 12 previous, wins to hold these guys back, because they are looking strong.
Top 3 are nose to tail heading down toward turn 4. Reed took a look on the leader, Davis. The battle for 4th is 25 seconds behind this, but it's 2 Sunbeam Tigers, the 50 of Patton, the 21 of Schomburg. Great to see those cars in action here as well. Jim Goffrey racing out of Texas now. He's a Connecticut native. Old friend of ours, Dave Auerbach, takes care and builds the motors for that 4016. Dave Auerbach for many years part of the Bob Sharp, Datsun, and Nissan teams in Connecticut.
Look at these guys, how nice and smooth and flowing their driving is. You know, you're not seeing the back ends getting away from them. Everything's blending together. I mean, really, Reed's going to have to make a killer, aggressive move to get by Davis. But what he's got to really do is focus on getting through turn 2. That's the corner that leads on the back straightaway. Perfect. If he does that, then he's got a shot out breaking Dwayne going into 4.
Leaders over the finish line. Let's take a look. 3/10 of a second is the gap between the top 2. Goffrey another 8/10 back. Jim Sr., veteran road racer, of course. His son Jim Jr. here in competition this weekend in Formula Mazda, running second in that race earlier in the weekend. Had problems, spun off the racetrack, and was not around at the finish. Dwayne Davis has led all the way. They've taken the cross flags. 10 to go at Mid-Ohio. We'll be back with more of the GT2 National Championship battle. You're watching Speed.
Besides their involvement in NHRA and Winston Cup racing, Valvoline's next biggest sponsorship in motorsports is right here at the Valvoline Runoffs. Now, certainly they have some sponsorship on some of the factory cars, as you see here, and for many of the competitors who sign up to their contingency program, if they actually finish on the podium, they'll end up with a nice check at the end of the weekend as well. But for some of the competitors, some product goes a long way. All they need to do is to walk over to the Valvoline swag truck right here, and if they get a couple of decals placed in the right positions, they can walk away with some nice swag.
Maybe that'll work in Calvin's golf cart. What do you think?
I never even knew what swag was. But if
Where have you been?
If you gotta wear stickers
Where have you been all your life?
I don't know if I want any swag.
Hey, wait a minute. I've seen your uniform. It's got plenty of stickers on it. Here's your leader, the 1 car, Dwayne Davis. Bill Reed right behind him in 2nd spot. Jim Goffrey pressing hard from 3rd in that 350ZX Nissan. Top 3 are nose to tail. The 50 of Tom Patton running 4th. He's about 25 seconds back.
Reed ran it in there.
They are pressing hard.
He was all locked up. Now he's got traffic coming up in front of Dwayne Davis. Davis. He's got to hope that traffic works to his advantage. Right now, you know, if I had headlights right now, as Dwayne Davis right now, I'd be blinking them to let that guy in front of me know, here I come. But Reed's close enough to take a shot here. He's got to do it. Oh, good move. Oh,
Bill Reed to the inside, grabs the lead going down into turn 4. Here comes Davis right back at him.
Oh, that was solid how he stuck it in there.
Up the hill through the S's. Lead change on lap 12. Bill Reed pokes the 87 car out front.
Man, that was strong, and that was classic. He waited till the last minute, got his car in a straight line, nailed the brakes hard, he got a little bit of lockup, so he's got to be worried now. You know, did he flat spot his tires? And Dwayne Davis, oh, he's got a run coming out here.
Davis to the inside, wants the lead back. Reed may not get credit for leading a lap here.
Oh,
Davis has to back out of it, heading toward the carousel. Reed pushes up high, he opens the door. This could be the best race of the day. For the lead, Bill Reed out in front. Davis in second, Goffrey is third. And Reed pulls away. There's Goffrey challenging for second on the inside. Goffrey takes second away from Dwayne Davis. So in half a lap, Davis has given up 2 positions.
And if you're Reed, you're saying, oh my gosh, I don't know whether I want Davis behind me who's in a salad car, or Goffrey who's in that Nissan. I mean, this is out of control here, but what a killer move by Reed.
Take another look at the pass for the lead by Bill Reed a moment ago.
All right, now they're coming up to that braking zone, but did you see how aggressively threw that car out in there? I mean, there was no way Davis could have prepared for that. That was the move so far that I have seen this weekend here at the Runoffs.
Here's how Davis saw it. I'm sure he was looking at the lap car on his left, weren't you, Johnny?
You know what? I'd have been watching both, but I mean, there was nothing he could do. That was one of the best overtaking maneuvers I've seen going into that corner. That was sweet.
Reed timed it perfectly because they got to the lap car just at the entrance to the corner.
Exactly. That was brutal. And my gosh, Calvin, what do you think about that and how Goffrey's running?
That was something else, Johnny. You see him put the move down the inside. I was certainly impressed. But his son's here, Jim Goffrey Jr. He's 55 years old. It didn't show there with that sort of move.
No, not at all. When he gets into the race car, he's more like he's 25.
Those Toyotas have been strong. Finch is out of this one, and your dad's now up to second. Does he have anything for the leader?
You know, I think he does. This is the 350Z is a new car for them this year. They've only had it out a few times, and they're still kind of doing some development work. So we're pretty optimistic he can pull it off, though.
Car's pretty banged up. How are the lap times?
Lap times look okay. They're running about the same pace that they did in qualifying, and I know the track's a little bit slower from when I was out there a little while ago.
Well, as he mentioned, he was out there just one race ago, had a disappointing run, was battling for the lead himself, came up short. Hopefully his dad could bring it home today.
Well, Jim Goffrey has just cracked off his best lap of the day so far, a 130.3. Reed lapping at 130.2. But Goffrey closing the gap. Here's the move made by Goffrey for second going down into turn 1.
You know what, and a beautiful move running in real hard into 1, and watching this pass lap, Goffrey through 1 is very,
Bid for the
strong.
lead by Goffrey as they head down the backstretch, Johnny.
Taking a peek. Oh, but look at Reed. He's got those rears locking up. And if I'm Goffrey in second and I see him locking the rears like that, I'm like a shark with blood in the water, man, because you know it's just a matter of time. You keep that pressure up, he could make that mistake that let you go by.
Ride with Davis here now. Does Davis have a chance to cool off his tires and take another run at the 2 leaders?
I don't know whether it does, but man, it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes out.
Working lap 14. We'll be back. Final couple of laps at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. You're watching speed and coverage of the SCCA's 40th Valvoline Runoffs with Johnny O'Connell and Calvin Fish on pit road. I'm Rick Benjamin. Dwayne Davis started on the front row, led the first dozen laps, got passed by Bill Reed for the lead and by Jim Goffrey in the 46 for second. Davis back to third, but he's sticking right there with the 2 leaders.
Oh, you know, he's still strong. That was just, I mean, this is killer racing. You've got 3 guys doing battle. All cars are even, track position, traffic. You see right up ahead. All this is coming into play. Racecraft looking after your car. And you know, as a guy that's been in this type of situation where you got a bunch of cars battling together, you know, they say we only use like 8% of our brain. You go into a situation like this, man, you're hitting all 8 cylinders. Yeah, it is so amazingly what a great feeling it is to be in a battle like this. And right now you're seeing 3 guys working so hard.
Now Goffrey, who's got a lot of experience, he's showing a fender inside of Reed. Reed's got a lot of experience too as they go to turn 4 every time. Is he trying to get Reed to make a mistake in braking?
No, very much so. But I mean, what he's got to do is he's got to make, you know, those decisions based on what Reed is doing. He's trying to figure out where he's strong versus the competitors and figure out a way to get by.
Calvin, they'll get the 5 to go sign next time by. The weather seems to be deteriorating. What's going on downstairs?
Well, it's getting very windy down here, Rick, and it's really getting cool. And this Englishman can smell rain. And as you know, where I come from, I know all about that.
Bet you've raced a few times in the wet.
My gosh, Calvin, the comments that you opened yourself up to right there, and we're just going to let them go.
No nose jokes, Johnny. No nose jokes, okay?
Concentrate on the race. I didn't see anything. That could have been an English joke.
5 to go next time around. 3 leaders get the 5 to go sign. Up front, Goffrey swings to the outside of Lee Reed. Reed, the leader, going down to the keyhole. And Goffrey may have it. He's got it. Jim Goffrey Sr. in the 46 car goes by Bill Reed, grabs the point.
Man, you know what? He had made his move on Davis into turn 1, and then he stuck it. So you knew that he was really strong there, though, to make that move on Reed. Going on the outside into the keyhole there, excuse me. Very strong move.
Goffrey now races out of Houston, Texas, native of Wilton, Connecticut. Still comes back to run in the Northeast Division. Riding with Dwayne Davis, started outside pole, grabbed the lead at the drop of the green, led the first dozen laps, got passed by Reed and then by Goffrey, and now Goffrey has leapfrogged Reed, and he's starting to drive away a little bit.
You know, I gotta proclaim that having a little bit of bias here as a guy that used to race for Nissan in the Z. It's cool to see them back up there with the 350, leading the runoffs once again.
4 to go next time by. Your leader is Jim Goffrey Sr. We'll be right back. Welcome back to coverage of the SCCA's Valvoline Runoffs here on Speed. You're watching the GT2 National Championship. And Johnny, this is the best race we've seen all day. Top 3 under a blanket, less than a second separating them. But Jim Goffrey's starting to pull away a little now from Bill Reed.
He's starting to check out, and I think solely it's through turn 1. You know, I've always said when I'm teaching guys how to drive race cars, where's the difference between fast guys and slow guys? Fast guys are always fast in the fast areas, the fast corners. And when watch Goffrey, he's very good in turn 1, but he's also very good in turn 11. I mean, those are the fastest areas, and he's strong there.
With that upset bodywork on the passenger side of the car, he picked that up in the first couple of corners after the drop of the green when he skirmished with the pole sitter, who got knocked out of the race. David Reed pulls away. Take a look at the start here. Here's the move for second by Goffrey.
Beautiful move. I mean, obviously got a better run than Davis out of the corner before, but he can drive it into one so deep and then carry the speed out. And here you see him making the move on Reed. Carried a lot of speed out of 1, but to do it on the outside, this is so huge. It shows you how well that car, that Nissan is braking versus the Salcos right now.
And that's how Goffrey grabbed the point just a few moments ago. His lead over Bill Reed last time by 0.6 of a second. Dwayne Davis another 0.3 back. Let's jump right inside the 1 car of 12-time national champion Dwayne Davis. Hitting the carousel. They'll get 3 to go this time by.
Now the thing is, you know, when they're watching these guys, what is so cool is these guys are all experienced. You know, they've been in the Nationals before. They know what it takes to win. And
Dwayne
now,
Davis going for second, Calvin.
As he does so, this is Jim Goffrey Jr. on the phone to his mother and the wife of the current race leader. What's she got to say?
Well, she said she's sorry that I spun into a gravel trap, but she's glad that Dad's got a good possibility of winning it.
This is exciting stuff. You're going to keep her on the phone, burn the minutes?
Absolutely, no question.
All right, well, live action certainly on the telephone here this afternoon.
Engine builder Dave Auerbach standing behind Jim Goffrey Jr., riding with Davis down the backstretch. Still third. Reed with an aggressive inside move, going for the point. Couldn't get it done.
None of these guys is giving. Oh, Goffrey Johnson a little bit wide. Man, you hate to see a guy open that door even a little bit because these guys are going to come charging through it. And look at the traffic up ahead, man. If these guys don't get out of the way, it can determine what the outcome of this race is going to be.
Unlike in ALMS competition, no headlights on these cars to flash.
Davis got a good run out of that corner. He's been getting that good run every single time.
Shoot heading toward 10. Your leader is Goffrey in the 46. They'll get the 2 lap to go sign next time by in Mid-Ohio.
Oh, that guy.
Welcome back. At Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Lexington, Ohio, the GT2 National Championship Battle. It's the SCCA's Valvoline Runoffs with Johnny O'Connell, I'm Rick Benjamin, Calvin Fish on pit road. Dwayne Davis, the 12-time national champion, trying to make a move on Bill Reed for second spot. Jim Goffrey has the lead. Made the pass a couple of laps ago in that 350ZX up front. And Davis still can't get by Bill Reed.
Oh, but Reed's line through that turn 2 there was beautiful. He might be able to get a run on Goffrey. He's got to get in that draft, bring it real nice and tight to him. And he knows what Goffrey's breaking point is for this last corner. Stay out wide, then boom, stick it at the end. There it is.
Reed making the move in turn 4, gets the lead back from Goffrey.
Oh, Goffrey totally lost his momentum there.
Oh, Goffrey puts a wheel off. Keeps the car on the racetrack by the thinnest of margins. Davis still third.
Man, it was bad luck for his kid to get on the cell phone.
Bill Reed, beautiful run by Reed. Very patient. Waited his turn and got by going into turn 4.
The cool thing about racing, man, it's chess. And you could see how Reed really waited to the outside. But this pass, even though it's happening right here going into 4, this is classic. Wait till he goes to the brakes, pull out beside him, brake hard and aggressive himself. That pass happened the corner before when he had the best exit out of the corner. Here you see Goffrey dropping 2 wheels. Huge save by him.
Now you say the pass was made really in the previous turn out of the keyhole. Why is that?
Well, because he got a better exit coming out of that corner. You know, if you're setting up a guy to pass him going into 4, you got to get through turn 2 better. Reed did that, but Goffrey still all over him. This is amazing.
Final time around, they've gotten the 1 to go sign. Goffrey takes a look inside, and Bill Reed going to the keyhole. Jim Goffrey Jr. talking to Mom. Dwayne Davis says, hey, I may have a chance at this thing too in that 1 car. Teams watching intently from pit wall. It doesn't get any better than this. Last time around this 2.25 mile layout. Bill Reed is your leader.
He's got a big enough lead here. I don't know whether Goffrey's going to be able to send it down.
He's going to try. Into turn 4. Goffrey to the inside, has to back out of it.
Oh, look at Davis. He's going to try the outside. This is huge.
For second spot, Dwayne Davis. Goffrey right back at him.
Oh, my goodness, man. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Dwayne Davis takes his Celica back to second spot. Now you know how he's won 12 of these gold medals at the runoffs.
Oh, look at you, and you know what, right now?
Reed's got his hands full.
He's shaking, because, I mean, you got the master behind you. All you got to do is just a couple more corners. Keep it nice and tight. Don't open the door, whatever you do.
The 2 Celicas pulling away now from Goffrey. I wonder if Goffrey's got a tire going down.
Keep it tight, keep it tight. Oh, look at Davis. He's got room there. He's going to do it.
Final contact. Reed gets turned around. This may open the door for Goffrey. The 2 leaders are tangled up and sliding, and Goffrey's going to win. And Goffrey wins on the last corner. The top 2, Reed and Davis, got together. They're done. They never make it to the stripe. Jim Goffrey, who coughed up the lead 2 laps ago, wins it in the final corner.
Holy cow, you know, and there's still enough time for these guys to get second and third. They've been running that hard. Oh, my goodness.
Bill Reed and Dwayne Davis, if they could refire, they'd have a shot. They had such a huge lead. The rest of the field almost a lap down. The top 3 cars on a lap ball by themselves. Goffrey is your winner. Reed still being shown second with Davis third. They can't get the cars fired up. Now they're running.
Davis, here comes Reed. Oh,
I'm sure they're cruising it on the radio. Here's another look, Johnny, at the contact. Davis goes by. He will get second. Reed will get third. And that's how Bill Reed lost the championship here at Mid-Ohio.
Goodness, but you know what? You can't leave that door open. Now watch this. Reed goes in a little bit deeper, opens the door. Davis, he's got to go for it. He goes for it. Reed comes back down. Game over. Goffrey is smiling, saying, "My goodness, this Nissan's going to feel good in victory lane. Andre Champagne or not."
Unbelievable turn of events. All 3 of those drivers held the lead at 1 point or more in the course of this 20-lap run. Jim Goffrey Sr. wins the gold medal. Calvin Fish.
Well, there had to be some telephone conversation over the last lap there. Mother screaming, right, Jim?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
We did it.
She's hysterical. But this guy right here is the guy who deserves all the credit. Gene Mavs. He's my uncle. He does all the work on the car. He's the man who's responsible for this right here.
Talk about it. The last lap, I mean, he ran a little wide. He had the lead taken away, dropped to third. It looked like it was all over, but anything can happen here at the run.
Never quit. You just keep going and going and going, and we got a little lucky there at the end and pulled it out, and thank God for Nissan, Goodyear, Redline Oil, Dave Auerbach engines. Can't say enough. I'm shot. I really am.
Wow. He certainly managed to get all the sponsors' names in there, even though he's excited. What a day for these boys.
Terrific run for the Goffrey family and their family-owned team in that newly rebodied Nissan, now carrying the 350ZX sheet metal. And we'll hear from the driver in just a moment. There's Jim Jr., who certainly had an opportunity to win the gold in the Formula Mazda Championship a little while ago. His dad told me earlier in the weekend their goal was to have them both win the same weekend. Didn't quite happen, but what a great victory for Jim Goffrey as he takes the helmet off. We'll show you one more time. This is the carousel right before the checkered flag. These cars were battling for the lead.
Gunfighters, man, and when Reed opened that door, Davis had to go for it, but once they got sideways here, man, they got stuck together. Goffrey loved it. You know, it's a funny thing. When I drove for Nissan, my boss there said at the start of every race, I give you 100% of a race car, bring me back 1%, but win, and that's exactly what Goffrey did today.
Now, we saw something a moment ago, Johnny. Reed went around, Davis hit him. Really, he had nowhere he could go with it, but Reed locked up his brakes. If he had not locked up the brakes, they might have been able to untangle the cars and keep going.
Exactly. It's bad luck for them.
Jim Goffrey, a happy winner. We'll talk to him when we come back. Today's Speed Channel coverage of the 40th anniversary SCCA National Championship Runoffs being brought to you by Valvoline. Valvoline, the #1 choice of top mechanics. With Johnny O'Connell, I'm Rick Benjamin. Wild scene the last couple of laps. A great dogfight among three fine drivers for the GT2 title. Jim Goffrey Sr. is your winner. Dwayne Davis does get refired and gets second. Bill Reed, same thing. He refires and gets third. Calvin Fish sorted out for us.
Well, we're down here, and Jim Goffrey's been here before in '98 winning the championship, but he's got his son this time to put that gold medal around his neck. Go for it, Jim.
Congratulations. Way to go.
Thank you.
I think we got to go scrape Mom off the floor because she's, I'm not sure if she's still standing.
Thank you very much. That was an exciting race. It was really something, you know.
Great performance. Talk us through it. I mean, you made the run for the lead. You got through the great run down here on Davis into turn one. Really made the medal show there, and then got around Reed. But what happened over the last couple of laps? Those boys got back around you.
Yeah, really, the cars are about equal in lap time, but we have a little more power, and they're 300 pounds lighter. So it's a little bit of a mismatch, you know, and they're getting frustrated behind me in the twisties in the back, and then in the long acceleration runs, I can stay in front of them. So Davis made a great pass on me. He really did. Over madness on the outside.
Johnny O said you don't do that there.
My hat's off to him. That was the best pass I've ever seen. It was fantastic.
Did you think it was all over coming into the carousel?
I figured I was third for sure, you know, and then the Toyotas got together and helped me out a bit. But you could put us all under a blanket. We were right there. So
that was fun to watch. Great job today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Great and well-deserved victory for Goffrey and his family-owned team. Johnny, what more can you say?
You know what? That is just amazing. And that's the type of thing, all three of those guys can go home saying, I was in one of the best races of my life.
Thank you.
And everybody on Speed Channel got to see it, and what a show.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let's show you the final order of finish here. The top three had really driven away from the balance of the field. Goffrey, Davis, and Reed stopped on the racetrack in the final couple of corners. They were able to hear on the radio, refire, and you can still get to the podium, and they both do. Davis second, Reed third. Patton, Schoenberger, Rosenberg, Bud Reichert, Tambourine, Matakaitis, and Castelnova, your top 10. And Steve Limmert was 11th. Salem and Bill Koch. Gerald Mason, who was strong early, he was up in the top three, finishes in 14th spot. Finch, Blakewell, Missoura, Tony Giordano, Michael Murin, rounding out the order of finish here. Johnny, doesn't get any better than that.
It really doesn't, and I mean, all three of these guys have so much to be proud of, and you know David Finch would have loved to have been there, but that was one of the most amazing races I have seen in the longest time.
One more look at what happened in the carousel, coming to the checkered flag. Bill Reed in the 87 opened the door for Dwayne Davis. Davis dove to the bottom to try to snatch the victory. Instead, they got together, and Jim Goffrey goes by and takes home the honors. Back downstairs to Calvin Fish.
Well, we see the damage there on the left front fender, and Dwayne Davis, you look disappointed. That was such a classic race to watch, and Bill just seemed to leave the door open for you have to go for on the last corner of a championship.
Well, it appeared to me that he did, but to me, it's a racing deal. It's too bad. We both suffered from it, so But it was a good race.
Talk about that pass you put on Goffrey. Johnny O'Connell says you do not do that on that area of the racetrack. That's pretty hairy.
Where was it?
Just a blur those last couple of laps, I'd imagine.
It was a blur. All of us are working really, really hard. But good race, great race.
Well, I know you're going for that Baker's dozen. I mean, next year I'm sure you'll be back, and I'm sure you got another one in you, right?
Well, this is a little bit of a disappointment, so I guess I'm going to come back and try it again.
Okay, we'll see him back stronger than ever, I'm sure.
Well, you can tell the disappointment, I think, in Dwayne Davis's voice, but what about him? He'll look back at this, I think, and have a lot of enjoyment.
Oh, a ton of enjoyment, and you know what? He saw daylight there, and any guy on the last lap of a national championship is going to do what he did. That's why he's got 12 wins. No doubt, if he stays competitive, 13's in the future.
Well, Jim Goffrey scores another gold medal. It was a wild one in GT2. Some guys' motors didn't last. Some race cars discovered, well, you just can't do certain things with these GT2 cars. Some drivers and teams found that out. But a great battle of the checkered flag. Jim Goffrey is your winner. For Johnny O'Connell and Calvin Fish, I Break Benjamin, congratulating those who ran at the front of the pack, especially gold medal winner Jim Goffrey Sr. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching here on Speed.